Do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're breaking down a near-perfect example of how to shut down a seasoned political gaslighter without raising your voice. You've probably seen the clip by now. Senator Bernie Sanders, yes, the lifelong politician who's made a career out of taxpayer-funded speeches, decided to turn a Treasury confirmation hearing into yet another lecture about wealth inequality. Bernie rolled out his greatest hit, reading from the same worn-out script about billionaires hoarding money and America being some kind of oligarchy. Same tune, different day. Rich people, bad government, control good. But here's what Bernie didn't plan for Scott. Bessent wasn't playing along. Instead of nodding politely, Bessent responded with something rare in Washington: common sense. Watch Bernie's expression when Bessent calmly points out that the people being demonized actually built companies, created industries, and employ millions. While Bernie spent decades in government, these individuals were out there building the economy Bernie loves to criticize. Pay close attention to how Bernie tries to set a trap using Joe Biden's own words and how Bessent flips it right back on him without breaking a sweat. This is what a clean shutdown looks like. Let's roll it.
Mr. Bessent, thanks very much for being in the office the other day. Mr. Bessent, the United States today has more income and wealth inequality than has ever existed in the history of our country. You got three people on top, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg, who are now worth almost $1 trillion. That is more than half of the bottom of our society, some 170 million people. Three people, more wealth than the bottom, 170 million. We have more concentration of ownership today than we have ever had. We have more concentration of ownership in the media, where a handful of billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Rupert Murdoch increasingly own the media and the information that the American people receive. We have a corrupt campaign finance system in which a small number of billionaires in both political parties make huge contributions into the presidential and congressional campaigns. When you have a small number of multi-billionaires who have enormous economic, media, and political power, would you agree with President Biden, who last night stated, and I quote, "An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights, and freedoms," end of quote. That's what President Biden said last night. I agree with him. Do you?
Senator Sanders, I enjoyed our visit.
You talk a little bit closer into the mic.
I enjoyed our visit, and I hope you got my follow-up materials that on the discussions, my previous writings on the tariffs and China. And look, the three billionaires who you listed, that all made the money themselves. Mr. Musk came to the country as an immigrant.
I understand that, but what I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates, what Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. This is not a condemnation of any one individual. I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power? But
do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be. All right, but let me ask you another question. Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bessent, millions of working class Americans who are struggling to keep their heads above water are paying outrageously high interest rates on their credit cards. Over half the American people who take out new credit cards are being charged interest rates of over 24%. During his campaign, President-elect Trump promised that he was going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I happen to think that that is a very good idea, and I will soon be introducing legislation to do just that. Will you, as if you are confirmed, be supportive of what President-elect Trump said and what I want to see happen, and that is to cap credit card interest rates at 10%?
Senator, I think we can both agree that many credit card companies have been bad actors throughout history, and I will get back to you once.
Now, very simple question. Trump said he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I agree with him. Will you be supportive of what Trump and I would like to do?
When President Trump takes office, and if I am confirmed, I will follow what President Trump wants to do.
That was wild. Bernie sitting there wagging his finger like success itself is some kind of felony. Let's start with the oligarchy claim. Bernie quotes President Biden calling America an oligarchy. Really? The same President Bernie's been defending non-stop for years. If the country is that broken, maybe the problem isn't billionaires, it's the leadership Bernie keeps backing. And Scott Bessent's response? Spot on. He didn't dodge or apologize. He pointed out that Elon Musk is an immigrant who came here, worked relentlessly, and built companies that changed entire industries. That's not corruption, that's the American dream in action. Then Bessent dropped the hammer. He reminded everyone that Biden himself handed out the Presidential Medal of Freedom to some of the very people Bernie now labels dangerous elites. You can't demonize them one day and celebrate them the next just because the optics are convenient. That hypocrisy was exposed in seconds. Bernie, clearly frustrated, pivoted straight to the minimum wage. Classic move. Point one, national number, no nuance, no regional differences, as if living expenses in rural South Carolina are identical to Manhattan. That's not compassion, that's economic ignorance. Bessent rightly pointed out that wages are a state and regional issue, that's federalism written into the Constitution. Something Bernie might want to revisit between stays at his multiple homes. And then came the credit card interest angle. Bernie tried hard to force a gotcha, hoping to corner Bessent into contradicting the administration's agenda. Didn't work. Bessent acknowledged bad actors exist because everyone knows they do, but he stayed focused. Disciplined and aligned with policy. No wedge, no meltdown. Just competence. Here's the real divide. Bernie envisions a country where everyone is equally dependent on the government. Bessent believes in a country where people can succeed by building, creating, and taking risks. And in this exchange, Bessent proved exactly why he belongs at Treasury, calm, sharp, and completely unfazed by socialist theatrics from someone who hasn't worked outside government in decades. Now I want to hear from you. I.S. Bernie. Right? Are we living in an oligarchy? Or is this just resentment toward people who create more value in a year than he has in a lifetime? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're done with billionaire bashing, and subscribe for more reality checks.